Hi guys, I'm Lana.
And I'm Jeff.
And this is the Second Breakfast Club. Today with Ashland's and my dad.
Yay!
I asked on Twitter if you guys wanted him to come on the show because he writes lyrics. He's written songs in the past as well. He has a YouTube channel. You just search it with Jeff Sorensen Lyrics or go down to the description to see his work. But as you all know, I'm a theorist, and I got all of my philosophy and literary smarts from this guy.
Sorry for the dry humor.
So I just thought it would be cool to have him on. He has almost no BTS experience. He's like watched Ashland and I watch a few videos and I've shown him a couple things. But I thought it would just be fun to come on and talk a bit about lyrics because as you guys know, that's one thing we like most about our boys. So yeah, I dragged him along.
Didn't take much dragging.
Yeah, right? I feel like I'm forcing him a little bit.
No.
Okay. But either way, so I asked on Twitter what songs you guys wanted him to watch, and all I said was, we want something that lyrically means something to you, and there's no swearing. So, votes tallied, and we came up with First Love and Young Forever. First Love being one I really wanted to show him, because you wrote a song about someone talking to their piano, yeah?
Yeah, I've written quite a few different ones, but one of them, the composer's big thing was that first time they played the piano and how they fell in love with it, and that grew with them. And so, yeah, that's the perfect one.
Yeah. So this is a very similar story here. Mm-hmm. And as I forgot to mention too, a lot of the lyrics he writes, he finds composers on YouTube, especially ones that have very few views, and he writes lyrics for them.
What I do is I take their title or what they were thinking about when they were writing it, and I try to put lyrics together that fit the mood of the music and fit that type of thing. But I'm not very good at writing repetitive lyrics. I tend to go straight through it, so I doubt that they're ever going to become cool pop songs where you just keep singing the same thing over and over and over. Most of them tell a story.
Well, that's okay because everybody on this channel loves a pop group who is also not famous for writing pop songs.
Good.
So this one I also wanted you to watch because obviously being American, most of your past with rap has been American rap.
Which is pretty sad.
Yeah, I was going to say, which you are not a fan of, I'm not a fan of in general. But everybody on the Twitter wanted to know if maybe with the song First Love, Suga could convert you a little bit to lyrical rap.
I guess my experience with American rap is that they're rapping because they can't sing. Mm-hmm. They have rhythm.
That happens in K-pop too.
They have rhythm, but they can't sing.
There's actually a joke in parts of K-pop that you become a rapper in the group because you can't test out his vocal line. But what's interesting about this group, because guys, he has like no BTS experience beyond watching Ashland and I Fangirl and a couple videos I showed him to see if he would even like any of this. So I'll be doing some explaining of stuff that you already know.
However, I do watch their videos.
Oh.
So I see that. I am subscribed. I've been subscribed for a long time. So when I see it,
this must be why we watch what we
but
say.
It's mainly because I'm watching for my daughters
yes.
and making sure they're not doing something stupid.
Now, everybody can tell you that I'm the one who both censors and reminds Ashley to keep her mouth.
Oh, good.
To watch her mouth. But an important thing to know about this group is they have 7 members, and of those 7, 3 are rappers. But the 2 main rappers were rapping long before they even got into pop. They were doing underground rap, and the 3rd rapper was a street dancer who they taught to rap.
Right.
So this was their passion, not the thing they did because they couldn't sing.
And the other thing I don't like about American rap is that they'll try to dumb down their speech and use very bad grammar and very horrible macho type things in there to try to show how low grade they are instead of being a cool person.
Yeah.
And so if it's cool, I've seen some cool rap where they're actually trying to rap smartly with good grammar and with a message.
Living poetry.
That's not too bad.
It might not be the actual musical term. I call it lyrical rap. Rap where the lyrics are important.
Right.
In fact, we won't watch it today, but one of my favorite solo raps from the leader of this group, Namjoon, he did a song called Joke. And it's visually dark and stunning, and the flow is amazing, but he is literally saying nothing that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And the joke part of it is you can be as stylish and as flowy as you want. If you're not saying anything real, you might as well be a lunatic.
Okay.
You know, like that kind of idea. It's the same guy who in a rap battle, one of his insults is you're only saying 2 or 3 words at a time like some apocalyptic hospital patient. So, I don't know. Well, this one is called
Okay.
First Love, and it was written by a member called Suga. His real name is Yoongi. And this is on an album where they were all given permission to do solo songs in the style they wanted. They wrote them, they produced them, so each member kind of did a song.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what he decided to do. I'm not going to spoil too much, but I will say one thing I like musically to listen for is apparently he started weeping while recording this. And instead of saying, do a second take, he said, mix the sound of me crying into the beat. So
You mean having real emotion
Yes.
in it rather than...
I just always thought that was such an intense musical decision to make. It's like, oh, just mix it in.
You mean it's not like singing like the one, tragedy,
Yeah.
when the feeling's gone,
No.
you can't go on, it's tragedy, woo! Like I've seen some, it's just like, come on.
Let's jump into this one, though, okay? So, 3, 2, 1, go.
내 기억의 구석 한켠에 자리 잡은 갈색 피아노
We probably won't talk much during
Mm-hmm.
absorbing.
어릴 적 집안의 구석 한켠에 자리 잡은 갈색 피아노
But they show him crying on the side too.
Well, yes. This song means a lot to him.
그때 기억해 내 키보다 훨씬 더 컸던 갈색 피아노 그게 나를 끌때 널 우러러보며 동경했었네 작은 손가락으로 널 어루만질 때 I feel so nice now I feel so nice 그저 손 가던 대로 꺼냈던 것만 그때 너의 의미를 몰랐었네 바라보기만 해도 좋았던 그때 그때 기억해 초등학교 무렵 내 키가 너의 키보다 더 커졌던 그때 그토록 동경했던 널 등하시하며 빼고 갔던 건 방구 위 먼지가 쌓여가며 마치 됐던 네 모습 그때도 몰랐었지 너의 의미 내가 어디 있던 넌 항상 그 자리 지켰으니 그런데 그게 마지막 이될 줄 몰랐네 이대로 가지마 You say 내가 떠나도 걱정은 하지마 스스로 잘 해낼 테니까 널 처음 만났던 그때가 생각나 어느새
I love the little voice he puts on when he's being the piano.
Mhm.
관계 마침표를 찍지만 절대 내게 미안해 하지마 어떤 형태로도 날 다시 만나게 될 거야 그때
Very imaginative of being able to talk as the piano and have that relationship with him rather than just him with the piano.
Exactly.
다시 날 어루만졌지 긴 시간 떠나 있어도 절대 거부감 없이 날 받아주었던 너 Without you I'm nothing 새벽을 지나서 둘이서 함께 만든 아침 영원히 넌 나의 손을 놓지 마 나도 다시 널 놓지 않을 테니까 그때 기억해 나의 10대의 마지막 함께 불태웠던 너 그래 한치
That
앞도
him with
빼지
it was blame?
그때 웃고 너 함께였어 그 순간조차 이제는 추억으로 발산한 어깨를 잡고 말했지 나 더 이상은 진짜 못하겠다고 포기하고 싶던 그때마다 곁에서 난 말했지 생각 너는 진짜 할 수 있다고 그래 그때 기억해 지치고 방황했었던 절망의 깊은 수렁에 빠졌던 그때 내가 널 밀어내고 널 만난 거 원망했던 넌 꿋꿋이 내 곁을 지켰지 말아냈던 그러니 절대 너는 내 손을 놓지 마두번 다시 내가 널 놓지 않을 테니까 나의 다시 그리고 내 삶의 끝그 모든 걸 지켜봐 너일 테니까 내 기억의 구석 한켠에 자리 잡은 갈색 피아노 어릴 적 집안의 구석 한켠에 자리 잡은 갈색 피아노
So that's First Love.
Very good. So you want my impressions?
Yeah, let's talk about it a little bit.
Okay. He starts out with a very realistic scenario
Mm-hmm.
of how he felt as a little kid. And then it grew into an emotional thing and almost a love interest
Mm-hmm.
until it was almost like a breakup and then a desperation. And I liked how he wrapped it up back as a kid,
Mm-hmm.
talking about it again. So the lyrics I really like. the nice thing about the rap is he wasn't trying to be macho
Yeah.
and like an American rap, and you could actually tell he had emotion and feeling in it rather than just, hey, I'm the big guy and I can do whatever I want and I could do anything to anybody. I don't like that. He actually was giving emotion in it.
He
I like
was.
that.
One thing I like about him particularly as a rapper is his use of breath.
Hmm.
Like, a lot of people try not to breathe in this song, but he gasps or he sighs or he sucks in breath in a way that adds to the song, which I always appreciated.
Did I misunderstand that, or did he at one time call the piano his mother?
No, there's no mention there of mother.
Oh, I thought I saw a mom in there.
No.
Okay.
But it's interesting you stumble on that, though. There are some people who very unofficially think the song might be tied up a bit in his thoughts about his mom, too. Like, Yoongi is interesting. He doesn't give us a ton about his past. But there are a few things referenced here we do know. He talks about clutching his smashed shoulder. Because when he was training for music, he was working part-time as a delivery boy and got hit by a car. And it wrecked his shoulder and gave him trouble dancing. And about that time, he almost quit music altogether. And was like, I've been training for so long. I'm dead broke. This is never going to happen. I've got to go. But then he ended up coming back.
What's the part about him setting it afire?
So he uses flames a lot as symbolism in a lot of their stories to kind of indicate fury.
He didn't really set it that in
No.
fire. It was kind of like he was thinking of leaving it all and
Exact-
giving it all
exactly.
up, like if he'd burned it and gone away. But then he
Exactly.
realized he couldn't give it up, and he was
Exactly.
going to hold on tight.
Yeah, this group does this really intense, long-form, non-linear story through a lot of their music videos, and his symbol is fire. So he's constantly seen around fire in rooms of fire, and it's really indicative of, like, inner fury. So he's like, throw my hands up, I can't do this anymore, I'm
Right.
just going to leave it all. That
And the
kind of idea.
non-linear, like starting out young and then ending up young at the end.
Yeah, and this video is a pretty good translation. There's one bit at the end, though, that I liked a different translation a little better. He says, my birth and my death, you'll always protect those things, or something like that. In another translation, it says, my birth to my death, you'll see it all. So basically, like, music will be with me until I die, and it will last after me, and it was there before
And
me.
it'll always be an involved part of his life.
Exactly. So that was one of the ones they wanted you to watch,
Okay.
which I thought,
Which
Nice and
I've been
successful.
pleasantly surprised that if it's rap, it's
Good.
not American rap.
yes, he does do some arrogant American rap when he wants to, but even then, the lyrics are amazing, but there's
Okay.
too much swearing for you.
Yes. I'm not impressed by swear.
Check-in time. We should be good.
Okay.
So this one is an interesting choice. This one was definitely brought up on Twitter. I hadn't thought of it, but I wanted a song that had the whole group in it.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of really powerful solo songs, but everyone here will kill me if I only show you
Right.
like two members. So this one is called Young Forever, and it's the epilogue to one of their earlier albums. In here you'll see a lot of imagery that won't necessarily make sense to you because it's all parts of that story I was telling you about.
Okay.
So this is kind of an like the fourth episode of a story, but you
Okay.
don't have to know those symbols yet. A lot of them are really common literary symbols that you're going to understand, but for some people, yes, some people would watch it and not get it.
Okay.
You know, but even then, it's more the lyrics and the music.
Right.
I just thought it'd be cool for you to see a music video instead of just lyrics on the
Right.
screen.
And some symbolism's pretty universal, but if it was very much Western compared to Korean,
No.
it might be a little different.
Everything that you would need to make any sense of this video, you already understand. Like I was talking about Fury and Fire.
Right.
Like, that's a common one, right? Feathers and Freedom.
Right.
You're just going to see some flashback moments that relate to other videos.
Okay.
I will not go into explaining that whole thing to you because I have written a thesis on it.
Is that
But-
the thesis I watched on your video?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
So,
Somehow she doesn't think that I ever watched her
I
videos.
don't.
She didn't understand
but-
that as
but
a
also,
dad, I'm
if
going to
you-
do that kind of
well,
stuff.
if you watch my theory video out of context, it doesn't always make sense either, though. So basically, the only premise that you would have to even keep track of here is just that it's a story about growing up, and especially as a young man, when you're you're alone, you might be suffering. In a group, you don't show that suffering. So that dichotomy of like how you are with your friends versus how you are alone, and trying to highlight that just because someone's smiling and happy with their friends doesn't mean something's not going on in private.
Right.
Right. So let's get on into this. 3, 2, 1. Go. Oh, and this one also was written and composed by them, particularly their leader. I like the ones that they wrote.
No, it's got obviously a big hit.
Yeah, that's their entertainment company. So this kind of wrapped up this album, hence Epilogue.
Right.
It's very symbolic, which I like showing people who understand symbolism.
So far, I've been amazed.
Right. Ha ha ha. Very punny.
Mm-hmm.
Downtown 빈 무대에 섰을 때 그날 공허함에는 겁을 내 복잡한 감정 속에서 삶의 사선 위에서 그 실이 난 너무
Fire.
처음도 아닌데 익숙해질 법한데 숨기려 해도 그게 안돼 텅 빈 무대가 식어갈 때쯤 객석을 뒤로 하네 지금 나 외로워하네 완벽한 세상은 없다고 자신에게 말해 난 점점 날 비워가네 언제까지 내 거일 순 없어 금방 속알채가 이런 내게 말을 해 뻔뻔히 네 목소리를 높여 더 멀리 영원한 관객은 없대도 난 노래할 거야
Yeah, so far it's the emptiness of no matter how people are talking about you and screaming for you on stage, you're still always worried that they're not being real with you and it's all going to fall apart. Hey, someone got out.
Yeah.
The symbolism of taking the chance by jumping off.
In a way, in the story, that was also a suicide.
Yes, I understand.
I
It's
always-
still a chance too.
I love that shot there where they were all upside down except for Vix. V's the one who's very separate from the others in the story. We'll talk symbolism at the end.
You mean like the runway that they're on
Right?
and why that's a takeoff point? Or is it a landing? Could be either one.
There's that one.
Okay.
So this one, I do find lyrically very interesting, especially kind of their continued theme that like youth and fame won't last forever, but you're never too young to go after your dream. Too old.
But I think they're also tying success with the youth. I think they recognize that as they get older and this band gets older, there's a better chance that things are going to fall apart.
Exactly.
And they're afraid that once they're no longer a young boy band, that a lot of their fans will dwindle off and die, or go away.
Yeah,
I should say, not die. But I mean,
well, they might if BTS breaks up.
That's true. I understand there's an army after them. So, but yeah, but I understand where they're coming from that way. But with the landing strip, they're taking off, they're landing, and you can take off and land from the same strip. So is that plane taking off or landing at the end, or is it up to you what it's doing?
In a way, it definitely can be left up to the viewer, especially in context of the story they've been telling. I do know later, well, it's not canon to the story, guys. One of the members uses an airplane as symbolism for the group and their fame.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I finally got up into the clouds, but someday it'll land.
Yeah, they're flying high right now,
Mm-hmm.
but what will happen when they land?
Exactly.
Is it all over?
Mm-hmm.
Or is there another takeoff ready to go?
I also, one symbol I love in this one too is I love the choice to make the maze chain link.
Mm-hmm.
Because that means as they're lost, they can still see each other, but they can't get to each other.
Right, they can see where they want to go, but they can't, and they know they could get there if they can figure it out.
Yep. And that, once one of them gets out, they can follow each other, but there's a time where a big part of the story is a lot about close friendships that fall apart.
Mm-hmm.
And dealing with that dynamic.
Right.
I don't know. Because I know the story so much, it's hard to stay in context of just this video.
Right.
But I think you're perfectly right about that. Like,
to an extent.
yeah.
Like I say, there's, like a lot of these things, if you're going to have a fan base, you want to have the little ties back and forth.
Absolutely.
Kind of like that when I wrote the first song that I wrote was with the separation, and later I found some others by the same composer, and I tried to tie them together to make a story. And I think if I'm only seeing that one part of the story, I'm not going to be able to understand all of it, obviously.
Yes. But I was really curious.
Especially if I don't get to see the ones that have the cussing.
Right. Not many of the actual band songs have cussing in them, actually. Right. No, what I meant there is I like having a conversation out of context of the story because I'm so used to being immersed in it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to hear what somebody sees in just this video because the story as it stands now, I don't believe was planned from the beginning. Mm-hmm. I think this was the end of the first original intended story. So its symbolism should stand on its own. And I think what you're reading into it is all intentional.
Yeah.
Because I knew you would get a lot of the symbolism: fire, feathers, birds, chain link,
constantly
airplanes.
running, out of breath, but then taking the time every once in a while to take pictures and have fun. Mm-hmm. So they're trying to do all that, but at the same time they want to have fun, but there's always that fear that if they don't keep running, they're going to be left behind.
Yeah, and I also think pictures, especially there's one point near the beginning where you have a bunch of pictures and they're on fire. I think sometimes too it's about letting go of good memories in the past. Mm-hmm. So yeah. Okay. What did you think about the song?
I liked it. There were a few places. There's quite a bit of repetitiveness, but you need that for it to be popular.
Yeah.
Because if someone can't sing along with it, every time they come up with forever, whatever, they want to sing along because they're not going to catch all the other lyrics.
Exactly.
Right. And I don't tend to write those type of things since I'm...
You don't write pop.
I'm really not writing pop. I'm writing to make the composer happy that their composition has words to it.
Yes.
That's all I've really cared about is making the composer happy. Now, I think it'd make the composer a whole lot happier if someone would actually sing them.
Yeah.
Because I can hear them in my brain. And the composer, it's easy for them to read the words and understand where the words fit because they wrote the song. But it's a little harder for other people to hear it if they're watching it one time and don't really put the two together and think, I'm not so sure how that works, and they go on. So I think it would be a whole lot more fun for both the composer and the lyricist
if people were doing covers.
if they were actually covering them. Mm-hmm. I think that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So if any of you guys are cover singers, go check out his channel, see if you can do some original songs.
And there have been a few people who've done covers, and frankly, a lot of them had really bad equipment or sung off tune and things like that, but they've sang with so much emotion. I was always so pleased that they would at least do it because you could tell it meant a lot to them.
Yeah.
And so it made them happy, which made me happy.
Mm-hmm. You just like making people happy.
I like people being happy with what they've got. Mm-hmm. And what makes me happy is when I get the composer saying, wow, this was really great, I love it, or that sort of thing, or other people are saying, can you do this one too?
Yeah.
That's always fun.
Because he's a really good lyricist, guys.
Yeah, however, I only write in English.
Yes, but that means people could translate.
Yeah, but when it's translated, just like here, I'm sure that there's some a little bit more poetic.
Nuance lost,
things
for sure.
there.
Absolutely.
Well, not only nuance, but it's kind of like if I put in a rhyme scheme and a rhythm, and then you translate it to another language, the rhyme
It'd be
scheme
harder
and the
to
rhythm
catch. Yes,
are
yeah.
gone away. So unless they, but the thing is, most Americans like myself only speak one language.
Yes.
But I believe most Koreans will speak more than one language,
Or at least have
or at least have more fluency in understanding another
exposure.
language. They could
That's the
have a
word I
little
was
bit
thinking
better.
of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, like that joke, what do you call somebody who speaks 2 languages, bilingual, 3 languages, trilingual, 1 language, American?
Yes. Sadly, yes.
But yeah, so that was our little lyrics discussion. I thought it was fun. Did you enjoy yourself, or do you
Sure.
hate me now?
I don't hate you. I was looking forward to this.
Good. So if you guys liked it, let us know in the comments. Definitely go check out his channel. Again, link in the description. If he wants to do this again, let us know, and I'll force him to watch more. Just remember, no swearing, guys.
That's right.
But yeah, so until next time.
Live long and prosper.
Also,
Oh, excuse me, both hands.
sure. Also, like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.
Bye.